morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I've looked at the Kroger ad, and it is a buy five or more, save $1 on each item. There are some decent weekly digitals, and there are some good 2-day deals. So I will be going and trying to do my Kroger ad review here very, very shortly. So we'll get on that. All right. I just saw a hawk fly through. Great. At least it's going that way. All right. So I did a video about how the Christian cult disgusts me. And it really is disgusting to think that these people who consider themselves Christians go against the words of Jesus about the stranger, how to treat others, love thy neighbor. I mean, that is disgusting, to claim to be someone who follows the word of Jesus and yet ignores the words of Jesus during this time of bounty hunters just absolutely menacing people. And I do believe they're bounty hunters. I believe if they show up in gear, they show up, they go to a meeting, they capture, they're getting body counts. I honestly believe that. I believe that a lot of them are J6ers. And the reason that Donald Trump pardoned them is because he knew that they would do his bidding. And that means on the streets being violent to brown skinned people. Now, in one of the comments, it said that, what was it? I'm only seeing one side, and the majority agrees with all of this. So before I go into statistics and numbers and all of that stuff, I'm going to go through my little list here and talk about, does the majority really agree with this? Bounty hunters with no due process, disappearing people off the streets and people being sent to concentration camps and then flown out of the country into horrible situations. Not ever being able to contact their lawyers, their family. That's not due process, which is in the Constitution. So the patriots that are for these bounty hunters doing this and this happening in this manner, number one, are not patriots to our country or its Constitution. And number two, how is that doing Jesus's word of treating the stranger well? And then that's always this, well, they were illegal. Well, they're taking away their legal status. They're grabbing them at their meetings as they are going through the legal process. They're taking people that are U.S. citizens, and some of them are veterans, and not listening to these people, getting them in detention and holding them for hours and hours and hours until they finally realize that they are U.S. citizens. I watched several videos taken of how ICE is working, and they're just vigilante bounty hunters, period. And no, the majority of people do not agree with how that's going on. Moving along. Hiding the Epstein files, and then coming up with saying that the only reason Trump would be in it is because Joe Biden and the Democrats would put his name in it. No, the majority of people in this country don't buy it. No. Protecting pedophiles is something that I thought that MAGA was against. And they were so excited. Sorry, probably a chipmunk. Got my attention. They were so excited about Democrats being on the list and they were going to release it. Your leader, our criminal king is on there. He's in it. My gosh. Anyway, the majority of people do not like what they call transparency, because what they call transparency is a black door, a black box to hide the truth. Okay, a majority of people do not believe that this is just Democrats on there. Let's see, making this a Christian nation. The majority of Christians cannot, the population in this country is very mixed religions. And when you add all of the religions up, the majority are not Christians. Okay? But you're deporting Christians when you deport the Latinos. They are Catholic. They are Christians. I mean, okay. Food staying in the fields. Okay. Farmers not having enough workers. All right. Let's keep moving. Which is it? Da, 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 da. Tariffs and inflation. Joe Biden's economy was the envy of the world, and Trump knows it, because when he first got into the Oval Office, he says we have an incredible economy. And he has done nothing but trash it. He has spent your tax money, our tax money, on things that are not important if we were in such economic situations. Do you see the connection on that? If we were in such economic situations in this country, he would not be spending money on things like a ballroom, a parade, just the meeting with Putin, going to other countries, allowing J.D. Vance to spend extra money on raising water levels and going all over the place, and extra protection. All of that stuff costs money, and it's taxpayer money. And the tariffs are causing the taxpayers to pay more money. And when he says that the tariffs are bringing all of this money, that is a lie. That's a lie. It's amazing. It's amazing how much people believe what he says. And those are the people. We'll talk about the percentage. So, no, the majority does not agree with how inflation and tariffs are destroying our economy and our pocketbooks, as well as people losing health care. There are people that are going to lose health care because why? Because the billionaires and millionaires are going to get richer. Fantastic. So the poor MAGA people will struggle while the rich MAGA people make more money and save money on tax cuts. And okay, so the majority of people are for that, right? Okay. Women's rights. Eventually, MAGA women will read Project 2025, because they're going to wonder why their legislators are putting forth these laws and policies that take women's rights away. Eventually they will see. A lot have. A lot of MAGA women have already spoke up there. I've seen many speak up about the fact they didn't realize what was going to happen. Now, see, a lot of MAGA Christians are used to the patriarch of women following men, being subservient, so on and so forth, due to the Bible, which is a Middle Eastern history book religion. Israel has more rights than America now. They have better education, better health care, women's rights. Even though they're genociding Gaza with Trump right behind him as Russian tanks go through with American flags on it. We'll get there. We'll get there. So no, the majority of people in this country do not agree with women's rights being taken away, being broodmares bridled by policy. No, the majority of people do not agree with that. Going back to legislation and going back to protecting pedophiles, we have legislation trying to go through to lower the age of consent. This opens up for these pedophiles to be legally okay to find them a little 16-year-old. No, the majority of people are not for that. So in the election, let me get these numbers, okay? Yes, he won the electoral votes. Okay. But he only won by 49.9% of the total voting. That's not half. That's not 50%. That's right at 50%. Think about that. 48.3% was Kamala's vote percentage. Now, there were people that didn't vote. I'm going to try to explain this. And they are now as angry as those who do not agree with Trump and those that are turning on Trump. Trump is down to 31 to 39%, depending on which poll. That is you, the triple Trumper, MAGA supporter who is okay with the crap. But no, the majority does not agree with this administration, regime, criminal, king, whatever. So my response to the comment is, get your facts straight. Understand you are now in the minority of the country. Below 40%, you are not a majority who agree with this. Get your facts straight. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. I got lots to do. Bye, y'all. Oh, we'll do a Kroger review.